We're in the garage right now, and this section is what my kids call the store. So we went to a local pumpkin patch, and it's about an hour north of here, and it's literally called the Pumpkin Patch. And starting October 1st, all the way down to Halloween, you can pick your own squashes and pumpkins. The best thing I think about this place is not the pumpkins, which by the way are phenomenal. It's the squash. All the squash and any type of squash that you want, everything's $1, which I was just like, are you kidding me? I felt like I was robbing them, but they made the price, not me. So the majority of the squashes is actually from the farm. So I'll just go over through a few of the varieties that we got from them. We got a ton of pumpkin pie pumpkins, which I use them for, oh gosh, everything. Casseroles, actual pumpkin pie, soups, stews, breads, like everything. Pancakes, waffles, like all of that stuff. We've got some acorn, beautiful, beautiful acorn squash. I also did get an acorn squash from our CSA, which is this guy back here. We've got some, I think it's Kiri. And then I've got this one, which I think it cross-pollinated because it looks like a pumpkin, but then it also has the stem and texture of one of these guys. So I thought this was really cool because it's a pumpkin that looks like one of those. So I thought, I've got to definitely get one of these guys. But yeah, $1. They had spaghetti squash, tons of them. And this is actually a small one compared to what we got. Back here, the organic farmer, she does a lot of Asian produce. So she gifted me one of these winter melons. I'm really, really eager to try and make something out of this guy. I don't even know what the jam tastes like. So I'm super excited to experiment with this guy, and I'll take you guys along the journey with that. And then all in the back, I've got the pumpkin pie pumpkins. This is the one pumpkin that I grew, but I don't know, I grew the Province to something and then the Long Island cheese, but I don't think this is either one of them because it doesn't look like any of the pictures. I think this is maybe like a cross-pollinated regular pumpkin. I don't know. I didn't get a single Long Island cheese or Province to something pumpkin, but yeah, anyways, we'll eat this. We've got some Celebration pumpkin or squashes, which are beautiful. I got this one from the CSA that we belong to. This, I was looking for North Carolina roaster. I tried growing them. I didn't get a single one. This one is called a pink banana variety. So apparently it's supposed to be similar to the North Carolina candy roaster. So we'll see how that tastes. And again, a lot of the pumpkin pie pumpkins. We've got the acorn squash. These two are mashed potato. And when you cook these, they're apparently supposed to taste exactly like mashed potato. So I'm really looking forward to using them, in shepherd's pie and other casseroles, just like you would a mashed potato. So I'm really looking forward to that. This is a super cool butternut squash. And apparently the variety is the variety with the long neck, which I think is absolutely fantastic because normally when you get a regular butternut squash, it's kind of like hit or miss. Whether you have, it's kind of like avocado. You never really know if it has a big seed in the middle or a tiny seed. Same with these guys. You never know if the cavity where all the seeds are is huge or it's nice and small. So to have a long neck like this where all the meat is, it's kind of like I don't care how big that cavity is because look at all I'm gaining through having this long neck. So I definitely want to keep the seeds from these. From this squash, and I've actually got a couple of others that are huge, and I'll show you over there where I have another section of squashes, but I thought this variety was just so cool. And again, $1. I can't even, we went to the grocery store yesterday to grab some random stuff, and they wanted $1.99 a pound for this, and this is easily 2-3 pounds, and I paid $1 for this entire squash. So I definitely cannot wait till we go again there next year. Down here, we've got, I forget what this variety is called, but again, I've got a big spaghetti squash here. I've got some more of those mashed potatoes. I've got this blue Hubbard hanging out back here. So I want to see if my family likes the taste of this or not. We've never eaten this before, so I'm really intrigued to see how this tastes and how this actually cooks. So I only got one of those. And again, I've got some more spaghetti squash back here, and then an acorn, and then pumpkin pie, and then that like weird looking, I don't know what kind of squash this is. Down here below, I've got my cast iron pan. I've got my other smaller, I think this is a 5 liter Dutch oven. I ended up getting this at a garage sale for $8, and it was brand new in the package, in the box, plastic on it. It was a fantastic buy at the garage sale. I have 4 bags of organic sugar because in the summer when I was canning everything, I could not get my hands on sugar. So I got some organic sugar. This is the 1 bag that I have left over of the organic flour. It's a 20 kilo bag, and I get this from a local bakery. I didn't grow enough onions this year. So these are cooking onions. They're not sweet onions. So these are kind of like a Patterson variety type onion. But it was $17 for this huge 50-pound bag, which I thought was a phenomenal price. So that's just hanging out in the store. And then I've got like my old pressure canner that I'm going to be pressure canning water this week. I've got my massive bowls. I've got my water bath canner. And yeah, and then I've got my big mega pot. Let's go over to the table where I have all of the rest of all my squash. This is the rest of the stores. We got just a small box of apples. I'm gonna be turning these into apple juice, and they're just seconds, so they're a really great price. Underneath, I have 1 bushel or 40 pounds of Honeycrisp apples, and we use these just for fresh eating because my kids love Honeycrisp apples. I am still on the hunt for Red Delicious apples. Apparently nobody likes them because I can't find anyone that has Red Delicious apples around here. And those are my absolute favorite variety of apples. So one day when I have the dream house, I want to grow Red Delicious apples in my backyard because they're so hard to find fresh. This is basically the rest of the table. A lot of these were unripe. You can see like they're still very, very green. They're just now turning into color. So I kind of wanted to keep an eye out for these and let these really cure. When we were at the pumpkin patch, it's like cut your own, nothing's pre-cut. So I like having like a big stem just so it can really take its time to dry up. So that's where I kept all of these guys. But you gotta see, like, look at this guy. Like this one I'm definitely keeping the seeds from, but this is that variety of butternut squash where like, look at this, cheese. It's crazy. It's crazy how big this thing is. So down here, you've got the cavity where you've got all your seeds, but this is where all the meat is. Like this is where you're gonna be getting a lot of your basically like produce, like from this massive neck. And again, it was $1 at this farm. And I'm like, how amazing is this? And it's this cute little old couple. They had pumpkins decorated in the front of their house, on the trails back to where the farm, like the orchards were. And they had like corn stalks and just the most amazing experience. The kids were running around everywhere, picking squashes and Mama, I want this one. Oh my gosh, I want this one. This one's humongous. And they had so much fun. I can't wait to go back again next year. But yeah, so this is such an amazing local find that you can't get at the grocery store. And even just the experience of just running through the fields and picking out squashes for your family. Again, this is a spaghetti squash. That's the size of my head, basically, $1. This was green. It's now turned orange. It's got a little bit of green here, but the skin is nice and hard, and my fingernail can't even penetrate through it, which is phenomenal. These, again, more spaghetti squash. We go through a lot of spaghetti squash personally in our house, so we really like it. Again, some more pumpkin pie pumpkins that are just almost all orange. These are, I don't know if these are the honey butternut or the actual just butternut. I think they're the honey butternut heirloom variety. They're so tiny. These are the ones from my backyard. These 2 butternut squashes we got from our CSA, and the kids got to pick them out. And I've got another one of those curries. It's not completely dried out. It's getting there though. And over here, these 3 guys are just like my watch and pick these first before anything else because they have no stem. I'm hoping that this will last us till April. This is all of our fresh produce. And these are kind of like an extra snack. I'm planning on stringing these up somehow or like lodging them in a tree so that the local animals, squirrels, birds, whatever, can snack on these. So that's what I'm planning on doing with all of these sunflowers. So right now they're just hanging out in the box. And oh, what else do I have? I also picked up tomatillos. I went to a local farm because I wanted crates because there's only so many bowls you can have. And yeah, I bought these tomatillos. I want to make the salsa verde. I've actually never had it. He said it's amazing. He's like, here, just take them. They're a really great price. So I got these for like $5 and there's about 2.5 pounds in there. So I thought that was, sorry, I got it for $10 for 2.5 pounds. But I actually think it's more than 2.5 pounds because that's really heavy. This is the fresh produce area. I do also have another rack over here. I wanted to take you to one other section that I have of my pantry. This is where I have basically all of my overstock. So in the house, I try to keep in the pantry that's right next to the kitchen, all of my like ones. So if I have, say, like more than one of something, say like noodles, I keep the second or the third one in here. And I don't like having tons and tons of stuff because I don't also like things sitting forever. And I find that things in the pantry, when people put them in the pantry, that's where they go to die. And they'll find them like 3 to 5 years later and they're like, oh, what do I do with this? And I hate wasting food because that's wasting money. So I only have things in very limited supply here. If it happens to go on sale, I'll get about, say, 3 months-ish worth. Or if I can get points on them, like I said, with what I do with the app. So I'll do that. So I've got some rice noodles, I've got some crackers, I've got another bag of crackers. And that's just, if I don't have time to make crackers myself, we'll kind of tap into this stash. And also rice crackers. My kids love rice crackers. I'm never going to make rice crackers. So stuff like that I'll buy. But like, as far as like the Mary's organic crackers, the crackers that I make are very, very close in texture to these ones, as well as the sweet potato crackers. They're very close in texture. So I only use these when I'm like literally in a pinch. Like right now, I haven't made crackers in a bit because I ran out of almond flour and psyllium husk. So we've been using those, but I don't buy tons and tons of it. Just basically what we need to get by. So we've got some pasta over here. We do buy our almonds because we make our own almond milk. So for these, I can get 9 1.9 liter jars out of this. And we've got some cashews. I do a lot of creamy sauces out of those. I've got macadamia nuts. My kids love them. We don't buy them too often because it's like $25 for a bag. They are quite expensive. So we throw them into trail mix and into like other things. Taco shells were just on sale. So they were $2.50 for 2 boxes. Sorry, they were $2.50 for each box. So we've got 4 of those. This is the sockeyed salmon and crab meat over here. We don't go through tons of it. We go through, I don't know, I'll buy like a sleeve of 6. I think it's either 6 or 8 of these tins. I'll buy that like once a year, and that's pretty much it. Same with the crab. We go through even less of this. It's a sleeve of 4, and I'll maybe buy those once a year. Then we've got some peaches and cream corn because I'm not comfortable pressure canning, although I would love to not have to buy that. We've also got some white kidney beans because I'm not, like when I'm in a pinch, I'll use these. And then down here, I've just got some tomato paste. I've got some coconut milk and then pizza sauce. We have pizza pajama parties every single Friday night, and I make 2 pizzas every Friday. So 1 can will do 2 10-inch pizzas. So I know I have a bunch of tomatoes that are sitting in the freezer waiting to be turned into something. And yes, I would love to make pizza sauce out of them, but A, I can't get my hands on any oregano or fresh oregano. And B, I don't have the time. And more importantly, I don't have the mason jars in order to do that. I've got some mason jars set aside, but that's for a very specific project. I want 250 ml jars, which I just don't have it in the budget right now to purchase them. So it is what it is. I get them for a phenomenal price. And I also get them for a lot of points, which I can get free groceries out of. So it's kind of like a win-win for me. So I'm okay with purchasing those right now. And I can see my husband was just kind of tidying these up. Up here on the top, we've got my husband's, they're like Reese's peanut butter cups, but like the keto version. And we've got some granola bars, and we use those when I just don't have time to make my own granola bars for kids for school. And we've got some sugary cereals. I know, it is what it is. The kids like them. We don't allow them to have them for breakfast or for like an actual cereal. They're allowed Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios, and like Raisin Bran, like those kind of cereals for breakfast. And the Fruit Loops and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch that I have behind here, and the Vector cereal, which is a healthier version of like a sugary cereal. And they're allowed to have that as a dessert for lunch. So in the middle of their Yum Yum boxes, there's a little container or like a little section that's a circle like in the middle. And we just throw in a handful of those. So about 10 to 15 of the Fruit Loops cereal fits in there comfortably. And that's basically this section of the store. When I'm talking to other friends, they just constantly ask me like, well, how do you cook so much? Like, you're always in the kitchen. You're all like, you know, how are you able to organize everything? And it's like, well, the meals that I'm making, yes, there are some meals that take longer, but for the majority of it, like my pizza dough takes 10 minutes. Well, actually it takes 15 minutes. 10 of those minutes is waiting for the yeast to come back to life. My mac and cheese, there's a mac and cheese episode, and I'll link that below. That mac and cheese only takes about 6 minutes to make, and it's fresh, packed full of nutrition. It's super quick. You can have it fresh. You don't need that stuff in a box. Like, not everyone's perfect. If you're in a pinch, hey man, go use that stuff in a box. But if you really, really don't want to use that stuff in a box, you can make delicious, super, super fast mac and cheese at home any time of the day. I'm just excited for you guys to hang out with me in the kitchen. I love cooking, and I want to hopefully get you guys inspired to love being in the kitchen and love creating super cool, nutritious meals for the pickiest eater you have in the house or the not so pickiest eater in the house. So thanks so much for again spending some time with me. Until next time, make sure you hit the like button and click subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye guys.